To beat Villanova, it takes tremendous discipline, really on both ends of the floor. I've said on numerous occasions they just don't beat themselves. They have two of the better players in the league in Booth and Pascal, and they certainly showed that today, why they are in that position. And then their role players do a good job of just kind of staying within what they're supposed to do and staying in their lane, so to speak. I thought the first half we did a better job of being disciplined enough defensively to not give up the simple stuff. The second half, obviously, we left our feet a couple times, fouled the three-point shooter, got beat on a couple back cuts. And I actually thought, for the most part, and I got to look at the film, I thought our shot quality was okay. You run a little bit of a risk the way we play against Villanova. There's not a time of possession in basketball like there is in football, but we're going to take a good look. If we have a good look at a three in transition, we're going to take it. And we just had the ball for 6 seconds, and then we're going to defend for 27 seconds. And if you give up an offensive rebound, which I thought we fought pretty well in that area today, given how shorthanded we were, you can end up spending a lot of time on the defensive end of the ball. So I don't fault our guys' effort. Obviously, we had a really short bench today. There's some matchups that were just awful for us out there, given the guys that we had available to us. But I thought they fought. I thought we competed. Today we just got beat by a better team.
Questions for the student athletes?
I guess Martina and Ty, I guess to different extents maybe, but it seems like you guys really had both efficient first halves and were causing a lot of problems for Villanova's defense. Did you see anything different about the looks they showed you in the second half that made it tougher to get, shots in your typical spots?
Yeah, I mean, we were getting what we wanted to, what we practiced offensively, but we just weren't disciplined enough defensively. That's the reason why we got so many points in the second half. But for the most part, we played Creighton basketball.
The ball movement in the first half was probably one of the best. That's one of the reasons why our points and how many open shots that we were getting. And coming in the second half, we didn't do so much of that. So, and also on the defensive side too, we just didn't click in far good enough. But we just gonna sit there and watch the film, bounce back, get ready for the next game.
They seem to have maybe some active hands, or they forced some turnovers. I guess was that them just sort of digging at it, or what did you see on those?
Yeah, I was just playing loose, too loose with the ball, too casual. That was my mistake.
Anything else for the student athletes?
Yeah, I guess Martine, just I know that there's a lot of season left, but this is a tough sort of stretch for you to have to lose 3 in a row. How do you keep the guys sort of the spirits up and keep them feeling positive and confident despite the results?
Yeah, we have a young team. We're gonna try to keep them positive. We're just focusing on the next game. It doesn't matter how many we lost, how many we won, because the next game is the most important game, and that's all. We just gotta stay together and stay positive.
You guys defensively, and after you guys, the first couple possessions of the second half, you were able to extend the lead, and then still kind of got loose a little bit. Do you know what happened defensively? Did he just hit tough shots, or was there some coverage miscues?
He was just shooting a lot of deep balls, and obviously they went in, and credits to him, like he's a great player, and he just had that type of night today. So, but we just gonna have to sit there and keep our heads high, just keep it rolling, get ready for them again.
They had a couple just big runs where they got loose in transition, hit some dunks, and you could tell that they were feeling really good. Did you feel like you guys kept the same sort of the mentality that you would want in those situations? I mean, I know shots didn't fall, but do you think that you're focused and able to withstand some of that momentum shift?
I mean, yeah, to be honest, we just sit there and just go into the huddles and mostly just tell each other just to calm down and relax. Obviously, they went on a big run, and we fought bad. They hit a lot a lot more shots at the second half than we did. But pretty much we just told our guys just to relax, calm down. Like, this is pretty much the Big East. This is how it rolls. We got one of the toughest conferences in the nation. So we're just going to fight back, do everything we can to sit there and make everything better.
2 more for the student athletes. All right, thanks, guys.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Continue with questions for Coach McDermott.
Mac, you know Phil Booth, a tough shot taker, tough shot maker. I guess in the second half, when he started to get going, what did you think about his shot quality against the defense? Did you feel like your defense was doing, I guess, well enough to disrupt?
We made a couple mistakes on ball screens where our switch wasn't aggressive enough. A couple times they got us on a switch. They got the person on him that they wanted on him, and it was a tough guard. They can do that to you. But, you know, when you've got Pascal and Booth out there, and we only had the choice to play 4 guards, it's a tough matchup. You know, so then they start throwing to the post some, and you have to come with a double team on Pascal when you're 6'7" against 6'1" or 6'2", and they did a good job of getting it out of there, making the extra pass, and they buried a couple threes on the backside after some of those double teams. So, you know, they're a solid basketball team. I've watched a lot of film on them, obviously, from early in the season and conference play, and they're getting better every game. And you know, my challenge to our team is we have to get better. Like, we just have to continue to improve. I truly believe if we'll just focus on daily improvement, that everything else will take care of itself. You know, we were shorthanded today. The guys fought. We've got some guys playing positions they haven't played before because of injuries. So we'll just, you know, they have to keep getting more comfortable in those roles, and we'll have to take this show on the road and see if we can't steal one on the road.
Coach, Jefferson had a boot on his right foot today. Do you have an update?
They just said he was unavailable. You know, he did tweak that ankle early in the second half against Marquette, and has not practiced since then, and was not available today.
What did you notice about what Villanova did in the second half to try to take away Crumple and Bishop's side?
Yeah, I thought we missed some. You know, they mixed up their switching a little bit. They mixed zone in a little and made it tough to get in there. We did not do a good job of attacking the middle of the zone. I thought it was open, and we didn't get it there. Our guys were too quick to reverse it instead of making sure it touched the middle of the floor, which is really critical against the zone. But, you know, I also thought we had some really good shots at times. You know, Marcus had a layup at the rim, Ty had a layup at the rim. And, you know, we had some rhythm threes from Tyshawn and Marcus and Davion that didn't go. So, you know, Marcus, I thought, you know, for a freshman in his first start to get 10 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, in this type of game against that discipline of a team is another, I hope, step in the right direction. I know he's disappointed he didn't shoot it better, but you know, he's moving the right direction.
I guess with a young team like that you're developing, do you need a run stopper in a situation like this when you feel like your shots are good but they're not going down and they're putting everything through the net? Like, do you feel like you need to develop a guy that just knows in that moment that he's got to get it?
You know, I would rather that they trust each other in those situations. I think oftentimes human nature is when that happens, I'm going to take it upon myself to take care of it and fix it. And I'd rather they trust each other and trust ball movement in those situations. And probably the areas you know, it's no secret we have to grow defensively. And that's been an issue with us really as the year has gone on. I thought we were making improvements, but you know, DJ's one of our better defenders, and we haven't had him for the last game and a half. So that's forced us to really, I think, take another step back defensively.
Tyshawn said maybe just a little bit too loose with the basketball. Those turnovers were big because they gave. I mean, anytime you have a live ball turnover against Villanova.
Yeah, and I also think twice we had offensive rebound tip outs that, you know, our guys are trying to make a play, they're tipping it out and it ends up in their hands and then they get a run out. I think that happened a couple times. But yeah, live ball turnovers, we turned it over I think the first or second play of the first half, and they went down and got a basket. But again, it's the physicality of a couple guys that have been around a long time for them and Pascal and Booth against some guys that haven't been there for that much in our lineup. So, you know, we'll grow from it, we'll learn from it, get back to the practice floor tomorrow and see if we can't correct some of it.
What's the challenge for you in trying to coach a a group like this through a stretch like this in a league that isn't going to wait for you to figure it out, I guess.
No, I mean, you have to get them to their focus needs to be really narrow, and it has to be about today. Like, what can we do to get better today? I'm a firm believer if you just keep improving, you keep grinding, you keep working, that all the other stuff will take care of itself. But you can't start to point fingers at your teammates. They've got to allow me to correct the problems that we're having, and we'll talk through all that as a group. But they have to continue to trust one another. And human nature is when things don't go well, you want to start pointing fingers at somebody. That's just what people want to do. And I think players are no different. And we have to be mature enough not to allow that to happen to our locker room, and I'm confident that it won't.
Two more for Coach.
DJ Linder obviously plays a part in this, but like, are you going to maybe look at how you rotate or you use your bench, just because when you look at the box score, there's a lot of minutes for your starters, and that's obviously going to be tough to continue going down that path in this league, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously you take 30 minutes out of the game or 28, whatever DJ was playing, so somebody's got to take those up. And Christian gave us a nice lift, but if Martin is fresh the way he's playing on both ends of the floor, his understanding of where to be defensively is obviously superior to Christian and Sam's right now, and it should be. And if he's not in foul trouble and he feels like he can go, we're gonna have him on the floor. But like I said, it's hard to play the way that we're built, the way that we want to play, when your bench is as short as it was tonight or this afternoon.
You mentioned those two backup post players. The other night we just saw Froling, tonight Christian. Is that a matchup?
Most of it, they didn't play Roundtree much, and I thought that was, our plan was we'll play Sam against Roundtree. That's a better matchup. Christian, because of you got to guard Bay or Samuels or at times Martin was even guarding Pascal. So Christian gave us a better opportunity to do that. So that's going to be a game-by-game decision.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.